So in a regular house inspection, we're looking for how the property's holding up, how it's being looked after, how furniture's wearing, if there's any leaks or bigger damage items that are likely to occur in future. It's being able to flag those things with the owner of the property, and if there's any issues or things that the tenants might have noticed while they're living in the property, it's being aware of those as well. Reasonable wear and tear is what would normally be expected with people living in the place. So it's reasonable if you've got a family with a couple of young children, there's going to be wear marks in the carpets, particularly if they've been there for a few years. There's going to be minor scuffs and things like that. What's not reasonable if there's then a big hole in the wall where someone's put a foot through it. That's not reasonable wear and tear, particularly with young children sometimes that like to draw on walls and things. That also isn't wear and tear. That needs to be sort of cleaned off. First thing I'm looking at is the ceilings and seeing if there's any watermarks. It's really common in Canberra to get movement cracks and things in buildings. So even just monitoring those, because we do 2 inspections in a 12-month period. And so taking a photo of those every time, if they're changing, that's something then for the owner to be aware of so that they can prevent, huge costs later down the track. In the kitchen, for example, the common thing is where the silicone discolours at the back of the sink, and that can mean too, if water gets into there, that is a much more expensive fix. With the bathrooms, it's really common for showers to start to leak. Sometimes it will be that the grout will start to come away from between the tiles. Can also see where the concrete starts to oxidise and things just outside of the shower, which mean it would be leaking out of the shower. And the wall behind the bathroom too. So it might be that we ask permission to open your your linen cupboard, because you can see in the bottom of the linen cupboard, a lot of properties that backs on to where the shower is. And so if there's any sort of water issues, you'll see that the skirting boards are swelling, and there might be signs of that there. So that's what we sort of look for. I think from a tenant point of view, while I'm standing in the kitchen, is the range hood. Normally you can literally just take the filter out of it and pop it in the dishwasher. It's simple as that. Oven as well, it's a real pain to clean an oven, it's not fun, but if it's cleaned just once every 6 months before your inspection as a minimum, then you're not going to have issues at the end with your bond trying to scrape off 6 years worth of grime that's built up that wasn't there when you moved in. So there's some big ones. Also, and more so from a tenant's point of view, it's in your best interest. So the filters in the heating, whether it's a split system on the wall or one of the big ducted heating units, cleaning those filters regularly means they work more efficiently, which means it saves you power bills. I need to be able to see most of the areas in a place so I can see how it's wearing. So, if the benches in the kitchen are chock-a-block full of dishes and pots and pans and I can't see it, then that's not great. Likewise, if I can't inspect the floors in the property because they're absolutely full of all sorts of belongings and things like that. So having things sort of picked up and out of the way so that I can see the house around your things is the best thing. Gardens are a huge thing that's missed. Mowing and weeding, if you keep on top of it, it then is a lot less of an issue further down the track. Generally, most repairs the owner's responsible for. Sometimes it's a good idea to try and troubleshoot yourself. It might be if a cupboard drawer handle has come loose, you can tighten it with a screwdriver pretty simply. If all the hinges or one of the hinges on the doors has snapped, then that's a much bigger issue, and report it to your property manager and we can get it fixed. It's peace of mind for the owner that you're looking after the property, and then they are very grateful to have you there looking after the house as well. So it becomes a win-win for both parties.